Engel, who was our matriarch, and she was really our matriarch. Now, I saw this picture of Grandpa and Grandma Engel over there on one of the tables. This was their wedding picture, and they were married in 1901. Grandpa Engel, this is the only picture I've ever seen of him. We don't have, I guess they didn't take many pictures then. But anyway, he was born in 1875. Now that's 2 generations ago. That's a long time. And Grandma was born in 1879, so she was 4 years younger than he was. But Grandpa Engel, he died when he was 31. They had only been married about 7 years. And so he was 31 when he died. They lived on a farm near Bainbridge, and because of Grandpa's health, they could not continue farming, and so they had to sell the farm. And so the day that they sold the farm, Grandpa Engel died. And Grandma Engel would have been 28 years old. So she became a widow. Can you not hear me?
Yep.
Hold it close.
Okay. Grandma Engel was 28 years old when she became a widow. And she had 3 children. She was a very strong young woman. She went through many difficult things in her life. She went to live with her parents 3 miles east of Elizabethtown. They had a tragic house fire, and as they escaped the fire, they took her mother out to the end of the lane on a rocking chair, and she died at the end of the lane. This happened to a young widow, 28 years old with 3 children.
Just a little bit further away. Not too close to your mouth. Not too close to your mouth. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
Later, after I was born, I remember, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember she lived with her father and cared for him in East High Street in Elizabethtown. Then in later years, I recall her being a housekeeper for older gentlemen. In those days, they would hire someone to come and keep house for them. I think Uncle Joe Gish was the last one that she took care of and kept house for him, and that was near Aunt Almeda, just a few houses away from where Aunt Almeda lived. So it was nice for her to be near one of the children. My mother, Susan, lived with Uncle Joe and Aunt Emily Gish for a number of years. Then Oliver and Lizzie Height, who did not have any children of their own, invited her to come and live with them, and she lived with them the rest of her life. She was raised as an adopted child. In those days, they didn't adopt, but she was like an adopted child. She lived near Risser's Church, Mennonite Church on Mannheim Road. I recall Grandma Engel coming out and helping with some of the work in our truck farm, preparing to go to market every week. And when you just said something about Aunt Almeda running, I remember one time when Grandma Engel was out at our house, and I don't know if Jay did something or I did something, but she ran after us. And I'm a grandma now, and I don't run after my grandchildren. So she had genes of her mother. The families, then Uncle Harry lived with Grable Wogamuth family for a number of years. And I wasn't sure about Aunt Almeda, but Artis said
she lived with her grandfather in High Street in Elizabethtown and lived with them.
Okay.
Her mother with my grandma, and then her grandma, my grandma's father in their house.
The families all lived no more than 15 miles away from each other, so they did good at connecting sometimes. This is different than our families today. As an adult, Uncle Harry and Aunt Elizabeth lived near Hershey on one of the Hershey farms that housed needy boys. They took care of 20 boys. Can you imagine that? We would often visit them, especially to celebrate Grandma Engel's birthday. They had a private apartment and in this huge house. The boys lived and worked in the house and the dairy farm. We were always very impressed when we visited them because we lived in small houses compared to that. I remember visiting Aunt Almeda and Uncle Eli in Florin in their house, having delicious meals and fun with the cousins. The families were good at trying to keep connected. I remember at Christmas time we would go to different homes or maybe go together at a restaurant, a local restaurant, having great fun times together. And even when my parents and their siblings started having grandchildren, we would still have get-togethers. So it was still a couple generations. And I was just thinking today, we have 4 generations represented here today. So that's good. My parents moved off the farm, and for some years we lived in a big stone house. They lived there north of E-Town. They moved to Messiah Village in 1979, and my mother lived there the rest of her life until she died in 1998, I guess. I've just a couple little things to say about my family. I'm sure some of the rest of you will do it.